everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse. And we have Vera today for a hot second to help us introduce the episode. It's episode 20, The Boy Who Knew Too Much. And this is from season 5. So, The Boy Who Knew Too Much.
Okay, and the boy who knew too much, of course, is Bart. And Bart decides that he doesn't want to sit through school today. It is too nice out, and he wants to go and enjoy the freedom of the world. I mean, come on, he's got a point, so.
Right?
I want to sit there with his back up against the posturepedic chairs and all that. So,
Posturific.
Posturific, that's a good word. And so he skips out. And then Skinner does not like this, and he goes after Bart pretty relentlessly. But Bart's pretty good at evading people. He's really good at that.
Can't let Dad see me playing hooky.
I can't let the boys see me skipping work.
Good afternoon.
How do you do, sir? Sucker.
And he ends up at the Quimby compound, where he witnesses Mayor Quimby's nephew, Freddie, might have done some crime. We will talk about that, But yes, he's the boy who knew too much because he witnessed this thing go down at the compound, and he has to decide if he's going to come clean because he actually saw Freddie not commit the crime that he's accused of, and that's the plot. It's pretty funny stuff. So why don't we kick this guy off with lines? What is your line number 1?
How can they imprison kids in school on a beautiful day like this? And then Otto pulls up in front of the Simpson house in a prison bus because the school bus is in the shop. And everybody on the bus looks absolutely miserable. There's some harmonica playing. They're banging metal cups against the bars on the windows. And then outside the windows, it's this gorgeous day. And Bart is having some daydreams about what he could do on a beautiful sunny day like this. So that was my line.
That's your line. Well, mine kind of goes right along with that scene. Because when the prison bus pulls up, because the school bus is on the fritz, we got Otto driving it, and I got to do my Otto every now and then. And Otto says, "The regular school bus is broken down. Now take a seat before I blow your heads off. Sorry, this bus and I have a shining thing going on."
That was actually the opening scene, so
It started
the
right off
episode
with
just
that.
gets better and better from that moment. Oh man. And then I have to pick a second one?
Yeah,
okay.
what's number 2?
I know you can hear my thoughts, Bart. If I find out you skipped class, Bart, your ass is mine. That's right. I think words I don't say. And that was Skinner. He was in the courtroom telepathically connecting to Bart. And then Homer has his own moment of telepathic connection to Bart too. And that kind of cracked me up right after because I think Homer, his tone indicates that he knew Skinner was telepathically connecting to Bart.
Yeah, because they were both on the jury duty, and for some reason they zoomed in on her.
What about you?
Well, mine kind of is in line with that. So we know that Bart knows that Freddie didn't do it, so he tells Lisa because he's feeling guilty, and Lisa's like, "Well, you got to tell somebody," and he's like, "Oh, if I tell somebody, I'll get caught for skipping school. That's the dilemma." And Lisa's like, "Well, if he didn't do it, then I'm sure he'll get a fair trial from, impartial jury." And then it cuts to Homer, and Homer says, "Jury duty! I'll see that Quimby kid hang for this."
Yep. Because Homer did not want to be in jury.
He did not want to be jury duty.
Oh my goodness. I know.
Oh,
There
so
were
much
some
good.
really great
It's so
lines.
good. It's so
I
good.
put several down on my
Yeah.
list, and so it's pretty good. So give that a watch. Episode 20 of season 5.
Just find lines. You'll
Right.
find them left and right. They're very
Yep.
good. We could be here all day, but
Absolutely.
yeah. We're going to move on to scenes, though. So what is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, I'm going to go with the crime lab because Bart writes his own excuse for getting out of school, And Mrs. Krabappel finds it questioning, and she takes it to Skinner, and Skinner also thinks, okay, that's pretty questioning. Let's take it to the crime lab. And so he has all this equipment and he runs this letter through the machine. It's obviously a fake because it says something like, forgive my handwriting. I'm going to have messy handwriting because I damaged
I
or
busted
injured
whatever hand it is
I write with. Signed, Mrs. Simpson. And so obviously, you know, it was just a fake letter, and it was written in Bart's scrawl, and instead of identifying his handwriting, they had to run tests on it and such. So.
And he's got the old like paper punch card, you
Yep.
know, that old
Yep.
thing, you know, punch card ticket
Yep.
thing. Inconclusive.
It's pretty silly.
That's a great
So
one.
that was my favorite scene. What about you?
I had a couple. I was kind of back and forth, but I'm gonna go with the Free Willy scene. So Homer comes around on this whole jury duty thing because he finds out that if they're deadlocked, they're going to get sequestered in the Springfield Hotel, where he gets free food, free cable, free Willy. And so he votes not guilty, and
Yeah.
you know, just so they can do that. And there's a moment where it cuts to Homer watching Free Willy, and he's all into it, and he's like, "Jump, Free Willy! Jump for your life!" And it shows Free Willy, and then Free Willy doesn't make the jump and crushes the kid. And then there's a voiceover, "Oh, Willie didn't make it,
Right.
and he crushed our boy." And Homer's like, "Oh, I don't like this new director's cut."
Oh, man. That's
Oh man, Free Willy crushing the boy.
Yep.
I gotta do it. That's good
That's
stuff.
pretty great. Oh, no. And who is your winner this week?
I'm gonna go with Mo.
Oh,
Because, you know, Mo testified on Freddie Quimby's behalf, and, you know, Mo
got
claimed,
some clean laundry.
yeah, he was with Freddie that whole time, so, and then he's like, "Oh, I got my laundry here, thanks." It's a big bag of money from
Right.
Chief Wiggum. So, Mo got a payday out of
Got
all
paid
this.
off from
Yeah, so.
helping out.
What
What a silly.
was, what about you?
I'm gonna go really obscure and go with the fake glasses company because Homer seems to have an endless supply of glasses that he keeps putting on throughout the episode that make him look like he's wide awake when actually he's sleeping and not paying any attention. So there are at least 7 pairs of those glasses that he goes through.
Yeah, he has to give them up to the bailiff. He has to give them up to Marge. He can just spot a bunch of them somewhere.
So maybe that was a gift that he bought at the Quickie Mart. Who knows? But definitely there's money going into the company itself for somebody buying that many pairs of fake glasses. So
Like it.
that's my winner. What about your loser this week?
Oh, I'm going to go. I was back and forth again because there were so many. I'm going to go with Billy. So Bart's watching TV and he's like, "I'm over this whole thing. I'm not guilty anymore." And then it's an episode of McGarnacle. And McGarnacle is completely a Clint Eastwood parody. It's totally Dirty Harry. And there's this kid named Billy who knows something that McGarnacle wants him to tell him. And he's like, "You gotta do it for me, McGarnacle." And Billy's like, "Okay, I'll do it for you, McGarnacle." And then it cuts to the chief. He's like, "Well, now Billy's dead. They cut his throat from ear to ear." "Hey, I'm eating lunch here."
Right. McGarnacle.
So Billy got his throat cut from ear to ear for squealing on whoever
For
did the crime
McGarnacle.
to McGarnacle. So.
I had a sneaking suspicion that you were going to go with McGarnacle because you frequently bring up McGarnacle.
I'm always going, "Do it for me, Billy McGarnacle."
Yep. So I had a feeling that would come up in this episode without even knowing, but I had a sneaking suspicion.
Oh, I love it.
Oh boy.
Who's
Well, I went with Martin in this episode
That's a good
because at one point during the crime lab scene, actually, Skinner says that he wishes more students would have participated in the tracking program that they have. And then he says only one student participated, and Martin, it pans to Martin, and he's got a tracker right below his ear on his neck, and it's tracking his every move and location. Of course, Martin's just hanging out in the classroom, no problem, but it was just really silly. So I went with Martin for my...
Yeah. He was the first in the Big Brother
Yep.
thing going
Yep.
on all the way back in the early 90s on The Simpsons.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
So, again, that was episode 20, The Boy Who Knew Too Much, from season 5 of The Simpsons. And you can stream that on Hulu or Disney Plus, or pick up a copy of the DVD at your local library and give it a watch. Feel free to share your favorites, scenes, lines, whatever your comments you would like to share with us. We'd love to read them. And don't forget to subscribe over here in the bottom corner. And until next time,
Jiminy
Jillikers.
I know you can read my thoughts, boy. Meow 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 meow.